What up, man? How are you?
Well, I'm good, Dex. How you doing, bud?
I can't complain. I'm excited for Amanda Cerny. Obviously, a huge get for us. I mean, she's got a crazy, insane following. What are her numbers? Like, what'd you say? 25 million on
25 million.
IG,
Yeah, it's just crazy. I mean, she's got, 2.7 million YouTube subscribers. I mean,
and like
she's
another 9 million on TikTok. Like, she's kind of one of those people that it was like the first real influencer, right? Like
oh yeah, 100%.
When Vine was huge, that's where she really got her start, and she like amassed this massive audience because of that, and she's been able to retain that audience, which is really impressive as well.
Yeah, it's I think the word social media influencer is a word that has a stigma to it. People don't really get excited for it. Or it's just such a what are you, a social media influencer? Or I'm an influencer now when you post a photo on social media or if you've taken the photo. But she was one of the original people that kind of created the concept as a social media influencer. She came up with people like King Batch and Logan Paul. Again, she's an OG. She's the one who kind of really got into it. So I'm excited to talk to her. Something I'm not excited for this year
What's
is
that?
the Oscars, the Academy Awards.
Oh,
I,
why?
you know, I just feel like this year was just such, the past year, obviously with the pandemic, you couldn't go to the movie theaters this year. And a lot of the movies nominated, I just didn't see, or I wasn't
Mhm.
excited for. I think some studios weren't like putting out the
Well,
their
you
movies
gotta
for this year.
realize 2020 was a weird ass year too. Like, most people didn't want to release content because they didn't know how, or the movie theaters were shut down. So just a weird year in general, where a lot of the movie theaters were like, well, we can't release it. And the streaming giants didn't necessarily want to release it. And then they kind of put some out, just as like a last ditch attempt. So just a weird year to award. Like music, the Grammys were what, a couple weeks ago. That was interesting. Still, I still enjoyed the Grammys because music was still being released and music videos were released. But I don't know. I'm still down for it.
I used to love going to, after the Golden Globes, and I love to see all the movies that were nominated. It was like, and I would be curious who's going to win based on, my own kind of studying of seeing these films. And this year, I haven't seen any of the movies. There's just nothing that
Yeah.
excites me. And again, I know the studio's been holding back putting out a lot of the movies because of people not going to movie theaters, but hopefully things change. But before we get to Amanda Cerny, Dax, do you have a review?
Let's see. No, I don't, because no one left us a review in the last couple days. Can you believe that? Like,
Oh, geez.
I literally went up because we just taped our last podcast a couple days ago. And so I went to go grab a new one. I'm like, we haven't got any new reviews. All the begging we do on this podcast for reviews, didn't get a single one. So if one person leaves a review, I will read that review. I just need one, guys. Come on, help us out. Throw us a
Leave your
bone here.
Yeah, that's the best thing you do to support this podcast. Again, we get thousands and thousands of downloads a week, and then people watching on YouTube and the social media. All you gotta do is leave a review, and that's the best way. That's the best thing you do to support this podcast.
And we
Give us
just want to
five
give you a
stars
shout
and
out and say thank you. That's it.
yes. So do that, and we got some really exciting guests coming up. We have
Can you
actually, I'm
call
really.
your mom and have her leave a review or something?
I don't think she knows how to use social media or anything with a computer. So good luck in that, bud. But we got an excited guest coming up who I'm really looking forward to talking to. I know we're excited for Amanda, but we have a really cool guest coming up. We have a
Oh,
paparazzi
you're
coming
talking about
on.
someone else? Oh,
Yeah.
I totally thought we were going into the Amanda pitch. Who are
No,
you
no,
talking
no.
about?
I want to talk about the paparazzi we have coming on.
Oh
This
yeah, he's gonna be.
paparazzi, his backstory is his main agenda. He's from London and now he's actually living in America, but his main, I guess, target or the people
Mhm.
that he kind of focuses on is the royals. And we all have seen the Meghan Markle interview. This guy has worked Meghan Markle privately without the security for years. And I want to hear all the deets regarding Meghan Markle and Prince Harry and the royals. And he's had some altercations with the security with them. So I'm very curious to hear
That's
what
gonna be a
it's
good
really
one.
like shooting the royals, Meghan Markle, Prince Harry, Prince William over the years. I mean, he has these crazy exclusive photos and he's made a lot of money off them. And I'm really excited to hear his story. But before we get to
So
him, because we're
subscribe,
taping him in a few
subscribe to the
days.
podcast. Subscribe to the podcast so you can get the alert once we release that one. It'll be a good one.
Yes. So before we get to him,
Yes.
Dax, tell us about our guest today.
Today, our guest is an actress. She's a UN ambassador, a model, blogger, podcaster, overall social media sensation with over 2.7 million subscribers on YouTube, 25 million IG followers. Amanda Cerny, welcome to the podcast from your back seat.
So Amanda, for people who don't know you, who would you say your audience is?
I would say my audience is global. I would say it's a variety. I kind of do a variety of content, so I can meet a variety of interests. So that's kind of my thing. I would say it's a lot of Gen Z millennials, more so millennials, but and it's different across every platform. Like I'm on TikTok, so I have a bit of a younger audience there. I'm on Instagram, that's more of my millennial audience, and I am on Twitter, Facebook, like that's different demographics too that are on Facebook, also like regions, areas. So that's kind of why I'm on every platform, so I can like get to everybody.
So, one of the things that I think we love asking people, because like you wear so many hats, you do so many different things out there. When someone asks you what you do, what is your answer to them?
Um, it's a I do I a lot. I usually say I'm a social media influencer, but that kind of puts me in a bucket. So I think everybody is nowadays. I think everybody influences. So that's not so far off. But I do a variety of things. I'm an actor. I'm a UN ambassador. I'm a social media star. I'm it's like I'm also a creator. So I guess a creator would be a good word for me.
I like creator. I think creator is a good one. It's so funny how just the term like influencer, even though it's such a powerful term, people sometimes it has a negative connotation because people look at it like, oh, that's not a real job. But
Mm.
you've made this a real job. You're a successful influencer, and being able to say like that's not a real job, that's the opposite for you. I at least in my opinion.
It's a 24/7 job.
Right?
But you're able to do that because luckily I'm able to be my own boss. I'm able to pick my collaborations. I'm able to decide what creatives I want for my content, like come up with an idea and then create the story for that like within the next weeks, and like really just be able to be passionate about what I'm doing. And I think that goes for any job. As long as you're passionate about it, it's something that you can do as a hobby and then also get paid for, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, how big's your team? Like, are you the one editing your videos, or are you at the point now where you have your own like two editors, or how does it work for you?
It's so funny because I'll collaborate with even sometimes different photographers. I'm always so collaborative. COVID lately has restricted that a little bit, but I'm just collaborating with any and every influencer just because I think people have so much value and different ideas and such cool like niches and everything that I like to be a part of all that and learning from all that. So being collaborative has definitely helped me with my growth as well. But um I'm not answering your question though. What did you ask me?
Well, I mean, like, how big is your team? Like, is
Oh, my
it just
team.
you editing the videos, or is it like how does it work for you guys?
Oh yeah, this is what surprises people when I'm collaborating with them. It's usually just me meeting up with them, and they're like, "Where's your like entourage?" And I'm like, "My what? It's just me. Hi, like, is my camera?" So sometimes it just depends on what the project is. Like sometimes I'll hire out a full team. I'll hire out lighting, audio. I'll have a cinematographer. I'll have editors. I'll have all that, and I'll even have like set designers and all those things. But it depends on what the project is. Like if I'm doing a TikTok, it's going to be me and a tripod and my phone, or my boyfriend Johannes helping me out and just like filming a TikTok for me. So it's pretty like it depends on the project for team for content. But for back end for business, it's me, my manager Lacey, I have some agents at WME, which are awesome, but more for the acting world. And yeah, it's pretty small and tight. Like, I work with my mom, Amy. She's amazing. So she helps me with like all these different tasks and projects too. So it's pretty like close and it's like family, which I love.
So when you've done like these collabs with these other big, internet celebrities, who's got the best, like the biggest reaction from fans?
Um, biggest reaction from a celebrity collab.
Not sorry. Well, I'm saying when you team up with another social media star,
Oh
who
yeah.
like when the fans go crazy over which collaboration?
Well, they usually like the nostalgia of me and my best friend Batch collaborating. So
Mhm.
anytime we do stuff together, people get really excited about it.
Nice.
Yeah. Do you think mainstream media has really given social media stars their props? Or
I
are you
think
kind of stuck in that bubble as being a social media star, internet celebrity?
I think anything you do, like people like just putting people in buckets so they understand them. Like they're like, this is what they are. And that's kind of the obstacle I've always been given, like throughout my whole life. And I feel like everybody experiences that. But the fun part is getting outside that bucket and just doing it on your own to show people that you're able to be other things than inside that bucket. And I think that's like a little chip on my shoulder too, of why I like creating that variety of content, just to show I can do so many different things. I can do dancing, I can do this, like I'm human, there's more to me than one thing. And I think when it used to be, Hollywood would limit that a little bit more because a lot of people, they're afraid of what they don't understand. And when Vine first started, a lot of people didn't understand what that was.
Uh-oh.
Is that me? Hopefully
Oh,
I
there you go. Sorry, cut out
okay.
there for a second.
No, that's good. A lot of people don't understand what Vine was or the value of the platform or um, the longevity of it, or so they kind of looked at it waiting to see what would happen with social media. And it turns out it kept going, and Vine was just like kind of the beginning of it too. I mean, YouTube was around for a while, but even with brands, like brands didn't understand the value of a platform. They would like send you a free sweater and be like, that's good enough, right? Like you get a sweater and then you can do 20 million posts for us and that's even. And you're like,
Mhm.
well, I'm getting 50 million views on my video. Like if I'm advertising your brand, like maybe this should be more than just a sweater, So I think it just took a minute, especially in those early days of it. Oh, Sherman Williams is banging on my window right now. Oh my God,
Definitely answer.
hey.
I got you ready whenever you're ready.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Yeah, so
Your paint order is ready.
yeah, it's a color match. It's hard. I had to get a chip off the wall. I do it all, you guys.
Yeah.
That's funny.
I forget what I was saying.
Well, I mean, me and Dax have always said it's like the social media celebrities, the internet celebrities, they are the next generation of celebrities,
Yep.
and there's only so much we could cover, the Access Hollywoods, the Entertainment Tonights. How much of these at what point do you start to embrace the new generation that kids find who are stars, or Gen X or millennials find as stars, which is people like yourself, Logan Paul? I mean, obviously things have changed a little bit and the times have changed a little bit, and you're sort of like an OG in this space. And is it kind of interesting to see, like, consider yourself an OG in this space?
No, I love it because for me, there was a lot more obstacles of education in every call that I had in the beginning. Like I would be on calls for 2 hours explaining what CPMs were, what numbers of views really meant and how that relates to advertising and television. And because at the same time, we were creating every single day, our entire days just creating content, whether it's for our own content or collaborations. And so it's a lot of work and we had bills to get paid, but a lot of people didn't understand the value of the content that we were creating or the audience that we were building as well. And it's like, all right, this is so frustrating. Like, and then we wanted to do different things, but people were like, oh, they're just like social, they're not going to last long, you know, it's not going to be around for a while. And those are like the judgments. I think those are judgments based out of like, people get, whenever it's like new technology, like some people are like, I don't need it, and then when everybody starts adopting it, they're like, oh yeah, let me, like, I need that in my life, and then all of a sudden they're using it all the time. They get like the phone upgrade or whatever because eventually they give into it, but and they adopt the new idea. So I think new things tend to scare people, but then as more people adopt it, they become more accepting of it. And that was kind of what happened with social media a bit, and brands really understood the value. And now it became kind of a prerequisite for different collaborations, for getting different roles or getting your foot in the door for things. So I think it's definitely, the value is understood now. And then it's like with TikTok, all the new stars that rose off of TikTok, sure, it's like, you know, people see, oh, they're just cute doing these silly little dances, but you know, you don't know what's happening on the back end. Yeah, doing a dance is cute and fun, but then it's like, all right, they're trying to have longevity in something too. They're also human. Let's be a little compassionate here. And I think that's like some people looking at it and be like, oh, that's so easy, but you never know what's going on the back end. And to make something last, there's a lot of work that has to go behind that a lot of people don't see. Like, anybody can get famous off one viral video, but to maintain that, it takes a lot of work. That relevancy word that we all love to hate is something that takes a lot of work to maintain.
It's funny that you say that relevancy thing, because Adam and I constantly are talking about how, like, we're so into the like social media celebrities because, like Adam said, like, they are the next big stars. That's who people are interested in. There's a reason that you have 25 million Instagram followers, because people are fascinated with your life. Our struggle when we do the podcast, because our podcast gets covered all the time, all over mainstream media. And then we have this massive star like yourself, and it's hard for us to get as much press. And we're like, how are the mainstream media not understanding that these are the people that clearly society is interested in? They want to stick with the Brad and Angelinas and Jennifer Anistons who don't ever talk, but like the people that are interesting and clearly are fascinating to a lot of people, it's hard for us to get press on. And it is so weird. And we've been able to navigate, and we get these people into mainstream media. But like, why do you think that there is this stigma that like the accesses, ETs don't jump all over you guys, even though it's right in front of them that your fan bases are massive? Probably even more massive than like Brad and Angelina's these days.
You know what, Dax? I always say that I am, and again, man, my thing is, I think what you guys are doing goes against what the entertainment networks stand for. You know, they're like, no, this is the next big thing. These are the stars, and it's like,
Like, do
we
you
let
think
these
that they're
people
trying
determine
to?
this.
You think they're trying to create them themselves, or what, Adam?
Yeah, I think they want to have ownership in it. They want to say, no, we're going to be the ones that create the stars, but the internet is really the one that's creating the stars, like yourself. So that's my feeling. It goes against everything they stand for. Like, no, they're still betting on TV, and what you guys are doing is, no, we're betting on the internet. Essentially, that's my feeling. But what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, well, why do you think that stigma exists?
I don't know. Maybe because we do their news stories for them. Maybe that's it. I don't know. But it's like, I don't know. I think people that don't adopt new things kind of get stuck in the past, and then newer platforms like yourselves kind of take over, and people tune into those more because you have the people they want to see or they want to hear from, you know? So I just think that goes back to longevity. Like, even with me, if I'm doing the same content all the time, I even get bored, and I'm like, all right, I got to switch this up just so I can stay entertained because if I'm not entertained when I'm creating something, then how are my viewers going to be entertained? So it's kind of like evolving as the world evolves. And if you stay stuck in your own ways, you're going to get left behind. So if the certain ones want to get stuck in their own ways and be afraid to adopt something. If you're not first, you're last. So
Yeah.
And speaking of the evolution, you got started on Vine. Why didn't Vine last? I'm still questioning this because it was so fucking popular and it was the biggest thing on the planet, and then it just like disappeared. Was it just because of Instagram? Like, what killed Vine?
And the funny thing is, like, even now, I have people running up to me, man, I love Vine. And I was like, yeah, me too. And then they're like, rest in peace. I'm like, yeah. And then they're like, oh. But it has so much nostalgia to it. I love it. And I like that it's a platform that people actually appreciated. And then they were like, for what it was so great. It was like an internet like moment in history, and that's what makes it so cool. But I think the death of Vine kind of happened because, one, it didn't fully support the creators on the platform. It was really hard to get in contact and get solutions or be heard. And that's one thing, you know, and that goes with any business. Like it goes back to who are your employees, who are your, like, we're the ones, and we were even a little bit more than that. We were creating all the content on the platform. But I think that's just a seed of it. But I think kind of the big thing is that Instagram got 15-second video, and we were stuck on Vine with our 6.47 or something second videos that are 4.5, or I forget the exact, but that 0.4 whatever meant the world. So us having 15 seconds to do still the short form stuff but tell a little bit more of a story on Instagram was exciting. But then people look at time management and we're like, all right, if we're doing short form content for 15 seconds on Instagram, why shoot a completely different video for Vine when we can just crunch that down into Vine as well, post that on Vine and post more on Instagram? Yep. So, and then people catch on to that too, and they're like, oh, we'll just watch Instagram videos because they have more of a story than the 6-second version on Vine. So I think that kind of added a lot into it as well. So people were able to get more, but still get that short form content that they were looking for on another platform instead of getting the leftovers on Vine.
Interesting.
Yeah. What was the moment when you started to see, as you're doing Vine videos, that like you start to hear like people like, hey, we'll pay you such and such money to do a post or do a video? Like, when were you starting to monetize it? How long did it take? And then how long until like agents and managers were reaching out to you like, hey, we trying to get in touch with you?
The thing is, like, I think when there was tens of millions of views on every video is like when agencies and managers were then like, oh, okay, like, let's just grab everybody up and just get them on our roster in case something happens. So it's like, I feel like that's what all the agencies kind of did, and they were all just swooping up, and the Viners were stoked because they were like, oh, I get representation, so cool. And then so everybody was just signing everybody, and then nobody knew what to do with people because they're like, okay, like, yeah, let's monetize them. But there has to be like brand growth outside of just like paid brand deals as well. So it's just like that was the piece that was missing instead of like grabbing the low-hanging fruit, just really planning for longevity there. But and then you see a lot of Viners at the time like bouncing between agencies, realizing that, and some did a great job, some like just so that I don't know what to do with them. And then so that was the kind of situation then. But then as time went on, like, people found their niches and found their passions and what they really wanted to do outside of like the short form videos as well. And even just if it's creating or producing or creating their own production companies, it all kind of like builds and turns into something else. It's like gave us a big tree stump and then many branches to do what we wanted to do off of that platform.
Nice. When you're in LA, what's your like favorite LA hotspot? I'm always curious to hear where people like to go in LA.
I love Crossroads.
Really?
Kitchen. Yeah, I'm vegan.
Really? Okay.
So, yeah, I eat plant-based. So Crossroads is like on Melrose and Sweetser. and it's like this fine dining vegan restaurant, but the food's really good, but it's like a whole loungy vibe in there. So I haven't been there in a while because it's been closed, but I don't know if it's open or not yet because they're mainly doing outdoor seating in LA. So
Yeah. You're in Florida now. Are you done with LA?
I'm back and forth. I've always been back and forth between the two. Like my whole family's in Florida. Like I grew up here, and it's a good way to like get me outside the LA bubble, get back and like stay humble, stay like this is life, and get that reality check. But yeah, I love Florida for that. And also when I'm here, I do a lot of studying and get a lot of like self stuff done, so I'm able to just like work on myself, like work on my home, work on my like be with family, and I think that's so important. So hot in Florida though, I don't know if you could tell throughout this interview. I'm starting to get like sweatier and sweatier. I turned off my
We got you locked up in a car like a little kid waiting.
I turned off my AC for your volume, and woo, it's hot in Florida. I'll tell you that though.
Well, if you need to turn the air on, we totally understand. I was gonna say,
crack a door.
It's quite the contrast going from LA to Miami. I mean, it's like you've got one state that's like completely locked down here in California, and then you go to Florida, and it's like everything's open, have fun, don't care, like masks off, like live your life. So that's got to be interesting going back and forth between those two places. Oh.
We froze.
I think she froze. You are.
My phone overheated.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, that's happened to me.
It was sitting in the sun, so
yeah.
it's...
My God, so sorry.
No, it's all good. We were like, maybe she overheated. And you got your paint. Good,
Let's
good,
go.
good.
Good day.
Thanks for joining us back. I appreciate it. I was like, I don't know. I hope she didn't keel over inside that hot car.
Yeah, well, thank you for being concerned. For
no,
me.
yeah. All right, so back to
where were we? Yeah.
So when you're in LA, who is a celebrity that you run into the most?
Celebrity. So what defines a celebrity?
That is up to you. If you say David Dobrik, I'm going to say cool. If you say Jennifer Aniston, I'm going to say cool too.
I see Johannes Bartol every day. I can't say my boyfriend's last name, right? It's so bad.
You can't even say his last name?
No.
Okay,
Austria.
but here's the thing. If you guys get married, you're going to have to learn the last name.
You see, that's the thing. I'm like, I don't know if I believe in marriage. Ugh, I know it's a controversy, but I also love the idea of my last name.
Okay.
You have a good last name.
So are you saying you wouldn't take his last name? Is it because you can't say it or because you don't want it?
I can't say it. My name's Amanda Bato. It's a lot of effort for me. It's so simple but so complicated. But you know, I'm getting it down. I'm learning some German. I can speak German. We speak German to our dog also, which is great. He's learning German commands, so I'm very familiar with that. So I'm a good girlfriend, but I'm learning his language.
Okay,
how did you guys meet?
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
We met at 1600 Vine, that building that all the Vine stars lived in at one point in time. He was there because he was doing fitness stuff, and he was in the gym, and I was like, he's cute, let's do some, put you in my videos. And then we were friends, and he's just a really sweet, nice guy, and he was friends with Logan and all them first, and then I was introduced to him, and then I was dating somebody else at the time, and then we broke up, and then Johannes had like a strategy, and he just like swooped right on in.
Nice. So you don't believe in marriage, but do you want children? Do you want to go down that road?
You see, that's probably why I'm unsure, because I don't know if I want children, because I have a puppy now, and that's a lot of work. So I'm like, if a puppy's a lot of work, kids are going to be a lot of work. But also I see how much work puppies are and how much the reward is for the work. So I feel like it's the same with children. So maybe I think I'm just going to freeze my eggs.
And then just wait and see if later down the road it's something you're interested in.
Yep.
I think it's good. Listen, dogs are a lot of work. Children are 10 times more work. So I think you definitely have a point there. But it is a very fulfilling thing to have children. But
you guys have kids?
I have 2 kids.
Dex, not me.
And yes, both yes?
No, I don't have any.
Oh, okay.
No,
well,
I don't have a
Adam
dog.
has some. He just hasn't met any of them yet.
yeah, I got nothing. I got too much freedom. But let me ask you this, Amanda. And correct me if I'm wrong. You dated Logan. You dated Batch. You didn't date Logan.
I didn't date either of them.
Really? You didn't? I thought you dated. I thought you dated 2 of them.
No, it's so funny because a girl being a friend with a guy, like people just assume that they dated.
Sure,
I know on the internet it says we did, and that's probably where you got that from.
Yeah, I did. I'm like,
yeah, we never ever, like Batch and I were immediate best friends, like from the moment we met, because we're both from Florida. We both went to Florida State. We have the same birthday. And we both live in LA, and we're both doing the same, like have the same goals and dreams and very similar. So we're like, okay, we're best friends. And then we just always been best friends. Logan, I met him when he was doing Vines, and I was like, his stuff is really funny. And he was in LA at the time, and I was like, he's like, I want to come out to LA. I was like, anytime you want to come out, I have an extra bedroom in my apartment. Feel free to stay there and do collaborations. Like, you don't even have to collaborate with me, just so you can come out and have a place to stay. So he came out, he stayed for a week. We did collabs, and then he went back, and then he's like, hey, I want to come back. Can I bring my dad this time? I was like, sure. And so him and his dad stayed at my apartment, and then his dad slept on my couch. He slept in my spare bedroom. And then they went back to Ohio, and then he was like, then he ended up moving, and he bought an apartment or rented an apartment 2 floors above mine. And we lived in the same building, the broadcast center, before all of us moved to 1600 Vine where Batch lived.
Yeah.
So funny just to think of even that transition and how successful he's become, from like sleeping on your couch when he comes out to having a mega mansion in LA. Like it's really cool to see that progress.
Yeah. What do you think about the evolution of Logan? Like we've seen him, he had a few setbacks. Well, just that one setback from my opinion, but now it's just, he's a different person, and he's got this podcast where he's getting some great people. And now he's, going to be fighting Floyd Mayweather. What do you think about the evolution of Logan Paul?
I think it's fantastic. I think it really does show that people can grow and learn from their mistakes and become better people, and also develop, and it's so young and learning in real time and on like with a spotlight on you is like, even like we saw it with Justin Bieber too. Like he learned in the public eye also. So it's just like having that, and it amplifies everything. And like he's definitely learned a lot. He's definitely grown a lot. He's a genius when it comes to marketing and growth, and he's very business minded. Same with his brother Jake. Like they're working all the time, and I think that's something that I really liked about both of them, is that they were just such hard workers, and they really worked for everywhere that they've gotten. There hasn't been somebody just telling them what to do and they're like, yeah, I'll get to it. They're like, hey, let's do this, or let's do this. Like when I first met Jake, he was 15 years old, and he came to me with, hey, Amanda, you and I need to start like a t-shirt line. And this was like in the beginning of Vine, and we'll call it this, and this is my business plan. And he had all this stuff, just like even at 15 years old. So I love how motivated they are. I love how willing to learn they are. And yeah, I think they're great.
Has there been anyone that you've wanted to collab with that you had just disappeared again?
Hello?
I think she's still there. Oh, there you are.
There. Mm-hmm.
Has there been anyone that you've wanted to collab with, but you just have never had the opportunity, or you guys were never in the right place at the right time, or it just hasn't worked out?
Yes. I mean, even now I was talking with my friend Anita. She's an artist. She has amazing...
Are you talking about Brazilian Anita?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love that girl. She is I have been talking about Anita for so long. You have no idea. I have been talking about her for years. I love that girl. She is amazing. When you say like a master marketer,
Yeah.
that is Anita. And
Yeah.
finally, what was it like last year when her and Cardi did the song together and people started talking about her in America? I'm like, I've been talking about this girl for so long. Like, finally, like Americans are starting to realize who Anita is.
Yeah, no, I love
Well,
it. Even all the Latin artists and everybody too. Like, it became like a mass media thing, which is so great because
mhm.
I'm in Miami. I love the music, so I'm a fan already of like so many of these different artists that now like all my friends in LA listen to too, and all my friends in Northern Florida listen to too. So I love it. I think what they do is amazing. The music videos, oh my gosh, so much fun. So much fun to watch. Embracing who she is, embracing herself, like as a Brazilian woman, like I love it. And
Adam, do you know who Anita is?
Yeah, you've been talking about her forever, so I've seen her stuff. But Dax has been obsessed with her forever.
Well, it's just I feel that she has that like superstar factor. And it's something that she's like super famous in Latin America, and I keep on like, how do Americans not know about her? And that's kind of the thing. She hasn't.
They
I
do
don't think
now.
she has. Yeah, I mean they're starting, but I feel like again her name isn't as famous as like if you go to Brazil, everyone knows Anita. Here, it's not the same way. You bring her up, and people are like, oh, maybe I know her, maybe I don't. But
Yeah.
getting her again into that mainstream U.S. market, is not the easiest thing to do. But
Yeah.
her music videos are amazing.
So fun. I was supposed to go to Aspen with her, and she did this whole like bikinis and snow thing that she with like such a cool group of girls. Like I love all the girls that went. My friend Golden Barbie, Jasmine Saunders, she went. She's like amazing, incredible model, and just like fitness advocate. So she's like was going to be my workout buddy in Miami, but I ended up moving a little bit north, so I have to like drag them all to me. But then Nikita was there, so she's amazing also. Like we've done some stuff together too, but yeah, it would just be so much fun to be able to finally collaborate and hang out like in person with Anita. So hopefully that happens soon.
Well, I hope it happens. That sounds awesome.
Do you think you and Lily Pons will ever be close again, or where do you guys stand?
I don't know. Like I think it was a moment in time. Like forgive, forget, move on. But yeah, I don't know. She's doing her own thing. I'm doing my own thing. So
have you guys ever ran into each other? Because you got to run in the same circles, right?
Oh yeah, like we've ran into each other at Coachella before when Coachella was the thing, and gave each other a hug, and like it was all good. So yeah, I mean everything's fine.
I did wonder, does the press that comes with that, because people love obviously arguments or whatever, did the press make it worse than it really was?
For me, it was a lot bigger of a deal at the time. But now it's like when that happened, I feel like for me it was justified. I don't know. But then like afterwards I was like, you know what? Whatever. Like that happened. Move on. Like it's fine. Like
I think that's the best attitude is like, fuck it, done, move on. Like there's so many people that hold grudges in this entertainment industry, and it's like,
me included.
Yeah. Adam, it's like, what is that going to do for you long term, other than just pent up aggression?
Yeah, it definitely harms you more than it helps you. It's so much more energy to hold resentment towards people, to hold grudges towards people, or just to be like, oh, sour. It's so much more enjoyable to be like wishing people the best, and also like genuinely getting there, being able to get there, because it's just like a big weight off your shoulders. Like it just takes much more energy to hold grudges than it is to forgive.
Absolutely.
As someone who, again, I'm a person who holds grudges. It's a flaw of mine. It's just what I do. Is part of you just want sort of her to acknowledge it or just apologize for what she did?
In person is good enough for me. So like publicly it's not necessary, but if in person acknowledging something, that's cool. And then even if not, and just like glazing over it and just being like if she didn't understand my perspective, that would be fine too. Like it's like, all right, we have different views on even though it's very clear, but in person an apology was enough for me. So it's like that's good. Like
Oh,
I
so
don't
she,
need the
yeah.
fame of, I don't need like the press of something. I don't need the was it the clout from something for an apology to work.
Yeah.
But
So she did apologize.
in person, yeah.
Oh, okay, that's cool. No, that's good. I mean, listen,
Yeah.
that's I'm sure personally that just felt good. It's like, okay,
But
I get
it's
it.
so funny because like I don't know why, but I even feel bad talking about it, even though if it was, because that's personal, right? Like that
Sure.
shouldn't be like amplified because it was like in private. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know,
I think that's kind of the funny thing is, I think that's a realization of how famous you have become, is that silly arguments, silly things in your life then get a lot of attention. Is that a weird transition going from someone, you know, who I want to say normal, and then all of a sudden you're famous and anything becomes a story or your followers want to talk about it?
um, you know, like I share so much of my life already that I'm happy people are interested in things, but I think what's really cool about celebrities now is that they're able to tell their side of the story on things. They're able to share the facts of their lives and not rely on news outlets to do it. So
Sure.
I think that's exciting.
Yeah.
Who's the one celebrity that ended up in your DMs? You're like, man, this is fucking awesome. Like, this is so cool. Either they're a fan of your work, they want to collab with you, or they have a project for you that love to be associated with you, or they're who is that
Yeah,
person?
I thought it was the coolest when Kevin Hart called me and then was like, "Oh, I love like all the work that you're doing. Like, would love to like work on." And it's just so professional, so like genuine, and so nice. Like getting like calls or DMs or something like that. That it just inspires me to work harder, and it just shows that, oh my God, people are actually, because sometimes you post things and it's like, oh, this, I like it, I'm gonna post it, and then you forget all the people that can see it.
Sure.
Sometimes you're like, I'm gonna post it, and then you're like, oh shit, that's a lot of people that just watch that, and then they're watching it too. Oh no. But then at that point I noticed like a lot of different influencers like holding back.
Hey, Dex.
Hello. Dang it, man. Hello.
Hi.
And now you're driving. I love it. Every time that the video comes back, you're just doing something new.
Hi. Yeah. Oh, I'm so sorry.
No. Thank you for joining us. We will wrap this up quickly.
Okay.
That way you can get back to your day and your paint job.
Thank you so much.
So what I want to know, how do you keep the momentum moving forward? So obviously, you've amassed a huge following. How do you keep this going? You said it earlier in the podcast, it's hard to stay relevant. How do you keep it going?
Just being innovative, staying creative, and staying true to myself and the things I enjoy and the content I want to make, and not just copying and pasting what other people are doing that's successful. I think that's a big part of it.
Yeah, what's next for you? I mean, we saw that you're trying to get, not you're trying, you are getting a lot more in the health and wellness aspect, but what's next for you? Obviously the acting work, you've done a lot of acting work previous, you are an actress. What is next for you?
Just continue loving what I'm doing. I don't know. Like, I love speaking. I love like helping people learn about social media and business. So like usually last year I was traveling a lot, speaking on different panels and at business forums. And for me, that's a lot of fun. Like I went to school for business, and I'm having fun dabbling in crypto, NFTs, and all that, and finance as well as stock market. Like for me, that's a lot of fun. I'm learning a lot there.
Did I can kind of hear slight hints that she's there, but I can't tell if she's there or not. Hey, we got a new location.
Yeah. Hi.
Oh, you are the best for being so understanding with technical difficulties.
You guys are the best for putting up with my tech. I don't have internet in my house yet, so.
How can you be a giant internet celebrity and not have internet in your house?
We have like 4 or 5 tech guys here trying to figure. We're doing our best.
That's awesome. Well, we won't keep you any longer. Yes. There you are. We won't keep you any longer. I know that we've dragged this on much longer than we anticipated, but we really appreciate your flexibility and logging back on every time. It has been fun seeing the progression from Sherman Williams. Well, actually, from the front seat to the back seat of your car to your phone overheating to your Sherman Williams paint being delivered to driving, and now you're back home. It's been a
journey with Cerny.
I love it. Well, to keep up with Amanda Cerny, you can follow her on IG at Amanda Cerny. Subscribe to her YouTube page, which has obviously been blown up for a long time, but she is a very good follow. And if you are thirsty, check out her wine, 626. By the way, how did you get into the wine business before we log off?
I like wine.
That's it? Just I like wine? I'm doing it? Did someone approach you or did you go out and look for a deal?
No, we went out and looked for a vineyard to collaborate with that actually knew what they were doing, and like us just like being able to taste them and like make our selections. So when I say us, my best friend Batch and I launched the wine together because we have the same birthday, so we named it after our birthday, 626.
Love it. Well, thank you, Amanda. Yeah. We appreciate your time today, and we wish you much luck and have fun.
Thanks so much. I'm going to work on the internet and paint some walls. So.
Thank you. Wow. Listen, she was dope. That was rough just because of the technical difficulties. But like, how many other people after like the 4th time of their phone connection failing would have signed back on? She legit signed on maybe like 12 times during that interview.
Yeah. Definitely interesting. Again, if you don't know who Amanda is, you have to have seen her videos at some point on social media. Like, I don't know if she figured out the algorithm or something like that, but I mean, her following is huge. The Amanda Army is, 25 million on Instagram, TikTok, everything. It's just crazy. And now I guess slowly she's starting to transition that into TV and acting, into business stuff. And you know what? I didn't know that Lily Pons apologized to her privately. If you're not familiar with it, Amanda accused Lily of they came up together as social media stars, and Lily was doing some things behind her back. You could Google it, as far as kind of deleting her content because I guess she had access to her passwords. And these were two people that were connected at the hip. Again, they came up together, they made content together, they were best friends, and it was a very, very public breakup. But I did not know that there was sort of like an apology behind the scenes, and now they're kind of cordial with each other.
Yeah. Interesting. She was cool. I liked her.
Yeah.
Again, it was too bad for the internet connection, but whatever. It was a fun chat when it did last.
For sure.
And the video, if I'm gonna post the video of her crawling into the back seat because it was so funny right before we started recording. I'm gonna post this. If you want to check it out, check out our YouTube page. Just search Hollywood Raw on YouTube. You'll find that, and I will post that video there.
Yeah, and if for more of the video, check out our YouTube, check out our Twitter, Hollywood Raw. We're on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. You can find me at Adam Glynn. You can find Dax Holt at Dax Holt, HOLT, DAX HOLT. And we'll see you guys later.
Bye.